Ladies and gentlemen, hope you are doing well wherever you are. Welcome to today's analysis. Bad news hits State House. President William Ruto's Senate, which impeached Gachagua in the year 2024, has been ordered by court to compensate Gachagua millions of money for damages. Before I continue, I'm begging you, if you are watching and you have not subscribed to our new YouTube channel where we don't sugarcoat but we always put news as it is, I'm requesting you, I'm not commanding you, please nakuomba tu, just subscribe, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that the moment we upload any new video clip, you will be notified that this channel has uploaded a new video clip to watch. Welcome to today's analysis. We are surprised as Kenyans because High Court awards Gachagua 50 million as Senate faulted over rights violation. According to the news we have received on our news desk, former Deputy President Gachagua has been awarded 50 million in constitutional damages after the High Court found that the Senate violated his right. I think you remember what happened when he was impeached, to a fair hearing during impeachment proceedings. The same court, High Court, actually upheld the decision to remove him from office. That means Gachagua is no longer the Deputy President in the Republic of Kenya, making one of the most significant constitutional ruling in Kenya's recent political history. I think you know what happened. Actually, Gachagua was impeached through the National Assembly and later through the Senate. The judgment, delivered by a 3-judge bench comprising Justices 1. Eric Ogolla, Frida Mugambi, and Anthony Murima, drew a clear distinction between the legality of the impeachment process and the protection of individual rights. The judges ruled that Parliament acted within its constitutional mandate in impeaching Gachagua, but faulted the Senate for proceeding with the hearing despite request for an adjournment. You know, Gachagua was sick on medical grounds, but the Senate decided to proceed with the impeachment. As a result, the court ordered the Senate to compensate Gachagua 50 billion for violating his constitutional rights. You know, this ruling provides an important lesson, or rather lesson, about Kenya's democratic institutions. It demonstrates that constitutional procedures must not only produce lawful outcomes but must also respect the rights guaranteed to every individual under the Constitution of Kenya. Even when public officials face serious accusations, the courts have emphasized that due process cannot be ignored. You know, Gachagua became the first deputy president in the Republic of Kenya, or rather in Kenya's history, to be removed from office through impeachment. His removal followed proceedings initiated by the National Assembly and later concluded by the Senate. During the legal challenge that followed, his lawyers argued that the process was flawed and violated several constitutional protections, including the rights, or rather right to a fair hearing. Ladies and gentlemen, after reviewing the evidence, the High Court rejected attempts to overturn the impeachment itself. And actually, this was celebrations. Two opposition leaders actually were praying. They were not interested. They were not ready to see Gachagua winning this impeachment case, because it will be hard for them to be supported by Rigathi Gachagua if at all the High Court was to overturn the impeachment. You know, the judges found that there had been significant, or rather sufficient, public participation, and that Parliament had acted within the authority guaranteed by the Constitution of Kenya, which was promulgated back in the year 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, the court also dismissed claims that political affiliations among legislators automatically amounted to bias. However, the judges reached a different conclusion regarding the conduct of the Senate during the hearing. According to the court, senators failed to adequately protect Rigathi Gachagua's right to participate in proceedings that directly affected his political future, because Rigathi Gachagua can't be allowed constitutionally to contest for any public office in Kenya because he was impeached through both houses, National Assembly and the Senate. The refusal to grant an adjournment despite concerns about his health amounted to a violation of fair trial principles protected under Article 5 of the Constitution of Kenya. Legal experts say the decision reinforces the principle that constitutional safeguards apply equally to all citizens in Kenya, including powerful political figures. The ruling suggests that state institutions can be held accountable when they exceed legal boundaries, even if their broader decisions remain valid. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this case also highlights the judiciary's growing role in defining the limits of parliamentary power. Since the adoption of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Kenyan courts have increasingly been called upon to interpret questions involving separation of powers, accountability, and the protection of fundamental rights. Scholars and constitutional experts have frequently, argued that independent courts serve as a critical check against abuse of authority in democratic systems. For the Senate, ladies and gentlemen, the financial penalty sends a strong message about the importance of procedural fairness for politicians in Kenya. It demonstrates again that the Constitution, or rather constitutional offices, do not shield institutions from scrutiny. For ordinary Kenyans, the adjournment reaffirms that rights guaranteed by the Constitution remain indivisible, regardless of status or rather political influence. Ultimately, Rigathi Gachagua's ruling is about more than one individual's political fate in this Republic of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a reminder that democracy depends not only on outcomes but also on the fairness of the process used to reach them, by upholding the impeachment while penalizing violations of due process. Ladies and gentlemen, that is where we are as Kenyans. But remember, the High Court attempted to strike a balance between institutional, accountability and constitutional justice. That balance may shape how future impeachment proceedings are conducted in Kenya. So, as it stands, Rigathi Gachagua remains to be impeached deputy president in the Republic of Kenya, despite court awards him 50 million. And actually, this 50 million is not money for Rigathi Gachagua. That is what we call pocket money for Rigathi Gachagua, because it's not of that worthy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet in the next video. But I'm requesting, if you are watching for the first time, I really appreciate. Please consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button that is down here. Once you hit it, I'm requesting, I'm not commanding. Remember to turn on the notification bell so that the moment we upload any new video clip, you'll be notified that this channel, Mwana Kenya Media, has uploaded a new video clip to watch. Remember again that I'll be uploading many videos as I can every day for updates. This is the only platform in Kenya where we don't sugarcoat anything, but we always put the news as it is. Be blessed, ladies and gentlemen. Bye bye for now.